Well, good day. So it's summertime, it's beautiful outside, there's so many things you can do, such as play tennis, some football, baseball, and if you got a dirt bike, you can do some motocross. And all that stuff is conveniently found in a Charlie Brown special called You're a Good Sport, Charlie Brown, because he is. So as always, let's take a looky-loo and recap this special, and then we'll flap our gums about it some more after. So, alright, let's go! Okay, let's start this special. And we started off on the tennis courts, because that's where you usually start a motocross event. Linus and Sally could not get on the court because of all the big kids hogging the courts. But then Snoopy just waltzes on there and plays like nothing. He's playing a pretty good game, getting all cocky, but then at the end he loses to Woodstock. And Snoopy just snaps and goes complete John McEnroe. How does this lead into motocross? Well, Peppermint Patty comes along on her motocross bike and it's like, yo guys, there's this event coming up and I think you guys should try it out. And yeah, she drives away on her motorbike on the road, which I'm going to guarantee is not street legal. And someone of her age probably should not be on the road driving, but you know, that's cool. Peppermint Patty also tells, Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, yeah, join up on this thing, yeah. And so they do. So Charlie Brown is in, Linus says he'll be part of his pit crew, and for some stupid reason, they still do that like age-old gag where Lucy is like, hey, I'll hold the football and you kick it, Charlie Brown. Why do they keep bringing this up for no reason?
Just let the joke die already.
Anywho, Charlie Brown empties out his pig bank and buys the most Charlie Brown Christmas tree version of a motocross bike. Which fits, right? This little putt-putt that can just barely go. And then boom, we are in the race. And then literal boom, we're in our first crash in the race. Charlie Brown crashes with a mysterious rider called the Masked Marvel. And no one knows who this is. Clearly not Snoopy. This is kind of like when the WWE had the character Mr. America and they tried to have the belief that no one knew that it was Hulk Hogan, right? No.
Well, you never see them in the same room at the same time, but that doesn't mean it's the same person.
So Charlie Brown and the Masked Marvel are picked up in some ambulances to get some help. One is taken to the vet, one is taken to a human hospital. But egads, there was a mix-up. Charlie Brown wound up at the vet, and I guess the Masked Marvel's costume is so good they thought he was a human. So a severely concussed Charlie Brown kind of comes to. He's like, what the hell am I doing here? I gotta get back to the race. And then he goes to the hospital and gets the Masked Marvel, and they both go to the race. Like, why? Good on your sportsmanship, Charlie Brown, but why are you taking him out of the hospital? You don't know how injured he is. Maybe he has a broken bone. Maybe he has a really bad strain. Who knows? Or does he know that's Snoopy? Either way, man, let injured dogs lie. So they're back in the race, and apparently no time has elapsed. Charlie Brown lost his helmet, so his pit crew leader Linus indulged in his pumpkin psychosis and made Charlie Brown a helmet out of a pumpkin. And it's kind of reminiscent how in the Canadian Football League, fans of the Saskatchewan Roughriders will wear watermelons on their head during games. Don't ask me why they do this. I don't know. I just know that they do it. Nonetheless, they're back in the race, and Snoopy immediately takes the lead. Like, did they stop the race while these guys were in the hospital? Why? What? I don't know. Anywho, we're suddenly down to only 3 contestants because everybody else is getting stuck in the mud. So you got Charlie Brown, you got the Masked Marvel, and you got Peppermint Patty. But Peppermint Patty gets stuck in the mud too, so she's out. Charlie Brown on his crapmobile somehow doesn't get stuck in the mud. It barely makes it through dry land, but he can get through like thick mud, whereas nobody else can. Masked Marvel is totally hot dogging and wrecks his bike. So he goes to his tennis shed, gets the tennis ball shooter that he was practicing with, and he makes a motorbike out of that, which is actually pretty awesome. And he's shooting tennis balls at Charlie Brown as they're driving down, man. What a spiteful dog. Like, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, but I guess you can shoot tennis balls at it. But then the Masked Marvel gets stuck in the mud too. So Charlie Brown's the only contestant, and he's the only one who can actually cross the finish line, so he does. Holy crap, Charlie Brown won something. It was stated earlier that the prize is 2 tickets to the NFL All-Star Game, the Pro Bowl. Good on you, Charlie Brown. Oh, wait, what? Oh, the promoters couldn't get the tickets to the game? Oh, well, we got something just as good for you, Charlie Brown. Here's a kiss on the cheek from Loretta, and 5 free haircuts, for you. which really sucks. Charlie Brown points out for the first time ever that his dad is a barber, so he doesn't need this, and he doesn't have much hair. He's not bald, he just has very fine and very short hair. So then Charlie Brown's all full of confidence, so he's like, you know what, for my baseball team, we're actually gonna win a game because I'm in the winning mood. And no, he loses again. So the winning giveth and the winning taketh. And that is where we end this fantastic little special. Well, that one was pretty darn decent. Maybe not the best one, but yeah, I'd say better than average for sure. So this was one that I have not seen as a child, but I did have the book of this when I was a kid, and I remember reading that actually quite a bit. I always thought it was really cool seeing all the different bikes and like the whole race. That was actually pretty awesome. So I was actually pumped up to see the animated version of the book. There was stuff I definitely really liked in it still. The motocross race was pretty awesome. Just the whole kind of getting to it was kind of slow. Let's just throw in a whole bunch of tennis, right? Seemed really dry and kind of pointless. I guess the whole point of that was to show that Snoopy had that freaking tennis ball shooting practice contraption thingamabobber, and that he's got a really strong competitive edge in sports. So there was payoff to it, but I thought it was just really dry. But the rest of it was really good, even the silly stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, like, it is a pretty fun, quick little kind of special here, so I'd recommend checking it out if you haven't. So that's all I really gotta say about that one, and well, I guess let's see what else we can dig up about this special. So this one was jam-packed with sports. So right off the bat, you obviously got motocross. Of course, you started off with a bunch of tennis, and you ended with a bit of baseball. The prize for the motocross event was 2 tickets to the NFL Pro Bowl. So 4 sports in one, that's pretty good. So the special, well, you know, took place in the summer of '75. The Pro Bowl happens in January, so that means they would be getting tickets to the 1976 Pro Bowl, which took place in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's a pretty fantastic destination. It would be like a little mini vacation, because Charlie Brown and the crew live in Minnesota, and a trip down to Louisiana would be just fine. Well, I guess technically there are some questions if to live in Minnesota or not. Peanuts creator Charles Schulz did come from Minnesota, and he has lots of Minnesota references in his specials and comic strips. He later moved his offices to Santa Cruz, California, and suddenly Charlie Brown's town kind of took more of a California references from there. But really, Charlie Brown lives in a winter climate that has snow. I don't think that's California. So either way, if you're traveling from California or Minnesota to Louisiana, that's still like a decent trip. Plus, you're getting tickets to the Pro Bowl. I'm going to assume that you get flights and accommodations kind of with that as well. Although in the special, they only said 2 tickets were the prize. So either way, that's pretty hip. But the fact that the race promoters couldn't get the tickets even though they posted it as the prize and then offered up free haircuts, there is no way you can compare the 2 prizes. Especially with the destination, New Orleans or a random barber shop. Well, if Charlie Brown's dad was a lawyer instead of a barber, yeah, I might have got a bit more action out of that. Smells like an upcoming lawsuit. Pretty sure that's a classic bait and switch. The sequel to this special could be called
You're Suing a Motocross Event, Charlie Brown.
and that would be pretty awesome. I would watch it. Yes, I would. If only to make a video. Actually, now that I think about it a bit more, why was the prize tickets to the NFL's Pro Bowl? This is a motocross. Like, there were motocross events happening across the United States at this time. Why not offer up tickets to a motocross event? Heck, if they're so hell-bent on going to Louisiana, New Orleans did host Motocross West, and there were plenty of other motocross events to go to. It seems kind of funny they would promote another sport entirely as the prize. Wouldn't you want to promote the sport that you're currently promoting with this race? No, you wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But if he did actually get those tickets to the Pro Bowl, he would have seen the NFC crush the AFC by 23-20. And Billy Johnson of the Houston Oilers, getting the MVP awards. But Chuck missed all that. Poor guy. So this special here was based on Charles Schulz's son, who took quite the big interest in motocross. So Charles Schulz was like, yeah, okay, well, I guess the Peanut Crew took a big interest in that as well. So that's pretty good inspiration. This one was also one of the very few Peanut specials that did win a Daytime Emmy Award, and it did win the award for Outstanding Children's Special, which is pretty special because I didn't think this one was, that amazing. It was pretty neat, but You know, maybe it was a slow year that year. I don't know. But other than that, that's that. Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, you know, feel free to do so. Or anything else, you know, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, you know, have a great day. Thanks.